John, thanks. All right, let's look at some incredible video here. This is wild. We head to Atlanta. You want to try to make that work?
There we go.
There we go. Wait a minute. We're going to start in Japan. My apologies here as we're learning more about that earthquake. And every day you see it, somehow it just looks worse and worse and worse.
Devastation really continuing to grow. And there was a plane that had caught fire earlier this week as aid was being brought into Japan, the central portion of the country, to help the people
killed
in need.
that.
Yes, so it's like one thing after another there.
Awful, awful week in Japan. All right, now let's go to Atlanta where we can talk about this wallet. This is incredible. A theater there was being renovated, and they found this wallet 65 years ago. It was lost. And they managed to track down the owner and give it back.
Everything intact.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a time capsule all its own. Yes.
You know that's a good way to put it. There was family pictures in there, all in black and white. It was tucked away behind a bathroom wall in the Plaza Theater there, and it was untouched for decades.
Yeah, perfectly preserved in the wall. Just wild. Absolutely wild, and the owner has it back, which is really, really incredible. The power of social media and the news media being able to track that down. All's well that ends well, right? Although I don't know, 65 years later, you've probably moved on and replaced what you needed to. And now this story we talked about at the top of the newscast, this is incredible.
It is. You know, earlier we had told you about, actually it was last week, we told you about how a daughter's plea was put out there. She wanted more pallbearers, needed more pallbearers for a respectable military funeral for her 91-year-old father, who was an Army veteran, and boy, did area veterans step up.
You heard Jack there talking about the phone ringing off the hook at his funeral home. We know it happened here too. 24/7, the phone was ringing. Do they still need pallbearers? Do they still need pallbearers? I think they had it filled in a couple of hours because so many people wanted to help, but every time we ran the story, people saying, I can help, I can help, I can be there.
And you know, our Philip Ward was out there today at the funeral in Venango County, and he said, even at the ceremony, we're talking the gravesite and at the other service that took place, there were veterans that showed up and said, are you sure you have enough? Because they wanted to be sure that this fellow veteran had what he needed.
Speaks to the people of this region, speaks particularly to the veterans of this region. Yep. Will not find finer people.